Good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I am Desmond Joseph.
And I am Nisha Charles.
And we are your presenters for the evening. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, Carnival Queen speaks on crime and regional integration.
$289.6 million to fight crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
South Africa mind clashes kills 34.
And in sports, Caribbean airing inaugural Sri Lanka Premier Cricket League.
Details of these and other stories after the break.
Welcome to SAT Telecommunications Ltd, the official rights holder and broadcaster of the 2012 London Olympic Games.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. For all the writers, readers, poets, politicians, and those who are self-conscious about their speech, Pastor Curtis Abraham has informed SAT TV that a diplomat public speaking school will be available on June 6, 2013. Pastor Abraham believes it is one of a kind in Dominica.
Surveyed around, we've looked at the UE program, we've looked at the Clifton Dupany program, we have seen the programs that they offer as far as communication is concerned. And we have taken it upon ourselves at Diplomat School of Public Speaking to introduce a very, very unique system in public speaking. Of course, the course is going to cover subjects like the introduction to public speaking, that is essential. In that, we'll look at training of the voice, ensuring that you have the proper voice, you have the proper posture, you also understand the benefits, the pros and the cons of public speaking. We're also going to look at learning to speak impromptu. That is also essential. When you're called upon in certain meetings, in certain forums, you never know who's going to call you, so you need to be always in a mode of preparation.
He says the course will help to develop many areas in a person's speech.
Within the school, we are going to offer to you a very unique package. The package is going to cover subjects like the introduction to public speaking. We're also going to look at learning to speak impromptu. We're going to look at learning to speak convincingly, the art of preparation, and the art of diplomacy. These are just a few subjects that I want to name that we're going to deal with in our course. But of course, when you enroll, you're going to get to be a witness to even greater subjects.
The pastor says looking at the need for public speaking in Dominica is very crucial. He believes there are a lot of natural speakers in our country. However, the natural ability to speak by itself needs to be nurtured.
At Diplomat School of Public Speaking, I believe we have the abilities, the capabilities to ensure that we get you to become the best that you need to be as far as public speaking is concerned. One of the mottos that we have and we pride ourselves in at Diplomat is that we take good speakers and we make them great. So of course, if you are interested in becoming a very excellent and polished speaker, we want to tell you that Diplomat School of Public Speaking is a place that you need to be. We will be opening to the public on the 6th of July or on the 6th of June 2012. The venue will be the Canefield Urban Council. In the event that you want to get more information, you could hit us up at telephone number 612-9852, or you could send me an email at deeppublicspeaking101@gmail.com. Let me just say that again, deeppublicspeaking101@gmail.com.
Pastor Abraham says there are many reasons why this school is a necessity. Nevertheless, he gives the main one.
Looking at the reason for having a school like that, a public speaking school, I believe again that in Dominica we have natural speakers. Just listening to some of the talk shows, it is quite evident that we have natural speakers. But in terms of being effective, there are certain training that one needs to avail himself to or herself to in order for him to become much more polished, much more effective in the art of public speaking. I believe also that if you're going to excel in the business world, if you're going to excel, especially if you're a parliamentarian, especially if you're...
Since the church is involved in teaching, having the required skills is very important as well.
Even the Christians, the Brotherhood, they could join that school as well, Diplomat School of Public Speaking, where they would be open to the same training that would be available to everybody, so they could actually refine their abilities. So when they get to their congregation, they're going to ensure that the level of communication that they dispense in their congregation is one that is very effective, one that is meeting exactly what the speaker has in mind. All right, so this is one of the derivatives that you could actually have from attending the school.
Pastor Abraham has a special message for those interested in joining the school but feel like they do not have the confidence.
I mean, just the whole concept of public speaking is one that is terrifying. I could tell you that, being one that is committed to public speaking on a weekly basis. When you look at the rates right now, they're saying that from a global point of view, public speaking rates #1 in the world as the thing that is most dreaded. Not even death, public speaking. So it is a very terrifying thing, but at the same time, one that has great benefits that is also attached to it. You're gonna have to also tell yourself that you're gonna commit yourself to failing forward. You're not gonna become successful overnight. You're not gonna become successful over 2 weeks, over 2 months, even over 2 years. But of course, if you have a spirit of stick-to-itiveness, if you have a spirit of continuity, then gradually you will become nurtured, you will become more polished, and
That was Pastor Curtis Abraham. In other news, the United Workers' Party, the members of which constitute the official opposition in the Parliament of the Commonwealth of Dominica, states they are in full support of the recently inaugurated OECS Assembly. They welcome the Assembly as it creates the platform for discussing and facilitating constitutional, political and economic changes necessary for the successful development of member states and their successful participation in the regional and global economies. Leader of the UWP, Mr. Hector John, says a number of leaders and opposition leaders of Caribbean governments were present at the high-level meeting.
I must say it was a very good meeting. The participation, the involvement of everyone, and the foundation is set for the advancement of the region. From Dominica, we had a team. And that team, from all the islands as well, that team going to be at the OECS Assembly on behalf of the country. So you have the opposition and the government coming together, a delegation on behalf of Dominica.
Mr. John says when the leaders of countries and the leaders of the opposition come together to represent the country as a whole, it is a way that may help eliminate all petty inter-island politics. It also helps to discuss, consult and negotiate locally the opposition and government on national issues rather than the back and forth argument which occurs most of the time.
But coming constructively, let us, what plan we would like to push forward, even is in tourism, taxation, agriculture, what are we putting forward to better the lives of the people of Dominica and the OECS by extension. And I think that OECS Assembly, if every member of the Assembly play the role or execute the role properly, we will have an excellent Assembly that will propel the advancement of the region.
The opposition leader says the level of camaraderie and respect that was shown at the inaugural meeting was very commendable, which set a high standard for parliamentarians in the Caribbean to step their game up in coming to such meetings and making meaningful representations.
You're representing Dominica, you're representing St. Kitts, you're representing Grenada. We can come there and agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, the people of the region will feel that you came there and negotiated or spoke on their behalf, and therefore the true advancement of the country. One thing I was disappointed with as a Dominican and part of the Dominican delegation, I only found out who were the 3 other members as part of a Dominican delegation of 5. I knew it was the Prime Minister and myself, but I was not aware of the 3 others. And I think as a team from the country, I should have been informed or gotten an idea, given an idea who were the individuals representing
Mr. John says he hopes that the government will work better in the future to ensure he, the opposition leader, is informed in a timely manner of the full delegation attending such meetings and come together to discuss matters of concern in a proactive and respectable manner.
We see the advancement of the region is the advancement of Dominica. And in terms of agriculture, we feed the entire, we can help feed the entire OECS. Right now we're having some problems with black sigatoka that needs to be addressed, and we have heard of the concerns of Antigua in terms of packaging our food properly. Not that they not want food from Dominica, but they would like it to be packaged properly, that we meet the standards, and that is very important.
He says if we harmonize the various sectors around the OSCS, it will make it much easier for the free movement of trade, people and employment generation in the region, which is what the UWP is looking for and other countries of the OSCS should work towards. Mr. John said the Assembly executed its mandate in the interest of OSCS nationals. The UWP stands ready to work with all stakeholders towards the advancement of the region.
It's really shocking. I mean, like, sometimes I hear of this guy being murdered, or this one being caught with cannabis, or these tourists are robbed, or this one is killed. I'm like, it's shocking. I mean, sometimes I would think you would never expect these things to happen in this beautiful country of ours, but it is. It's no secret. It is happening, and we really need to do something about it.
These were the concerned words of Miss Dominica 2012 Nadira Lando, speaking on this issue of the increasing crime and violence in the nature isle of Dominica, which is of great concern to her. Miss Lando would depart the nature island shores from Barbados, where law studies will commence, when the reign of her pageant titles comes to an end in 2013, says more needs to be done to reduce the instances of crime and violence in Dominica. She added that with the apparent increase in crime, there is a growing need for attorneys for representing alleged criminals, since everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and is of the view that she needs more specialized lawyers in Dominica.
Because sometimes what I see is that the lawyers here, they are burdened with, I mean, since they're general lawyers, every problem has to come upon them. They have to handle criminal, they have to handle corporate, they have to handle everything. And what I would love to see is having it more specialized. So if you want to deal with tort, you go to this group of lawyers. If you want to deal with criminal, you go to these group of lawyers. And if you want to do anything else, there are different lawyers for that. So I would love to see that.
Ms. Lando says a lot of the times the persons involved in criminal activities are young people who need to be properly educated and get involved in positive activities that will not give them the time to be lured into criminal acts and acts of violence.
I find that the young people of this day, they're easily aggravated. I mean, if you just probably brush a guy too hard by mistake, a fight. I mean, come on, this is totally ridiculous. And I would say that we need to have some anger management classes or something. These guys need to be toned down. Not guys, but girls as well. Everyone, all the young people of this age, they need to be toned down starting from high school. Because recently or early this year, some catastrophe in school with teachers and students. And I believe that it needs to be started as early as possible. In primary schools, we would see this children developing with some really bad anger. We need to take a look at that.
She added that the use of counselors and anger management sessions every week should be used to its maximum potential to the benefit of the young persons to better control themselves, so with time they will become better individuals. Ms. Lando is also urging Caribbean countries to strengthen the bond with each other for regional integration so we can all rise together rather than competing with each other.
We need to remember that at one point or the other, every country was at an underdeveloped or developing stage, and some of us still are. And we need to take care of each other. I mean, it's really destructive to see one island by themselves don't want to help the other because they find the other is too poor or whatever. But we need to understand that with each other, we can grow together, and with all of us together, we can actually combat other regions like Europe, like South America. I mean, we cannot do it on our own, one country like Dominica against South America. I mean, that's just impossible. But as one Caribbean region, just like the Olympics, where we would see all the Caribbean islands, I mean, we would be like, it's not only Jamaica, it's not Team Jamaica or Team Trinidad, it's Team Caribbean.
Have a heart, help a child. The Child Heart Fund is again hosting activities to raise funds for the organization. This Saturday, August 18th, a show called All That Jazz will be held at the Old Mill Cultural Center at 8 p.m. Treasurer of the fund, Kay Robinson, says regional artists Atora Tapin and Relative Minor and Friends will be performing on that night.
This year we thought we'd try to do something a little different. that would maybe allow us to reach a wider audience, get more people involved, as well as while somebody is donating to the Children's Heart Fund, we actually give them back a little by providing some entertainment for them. So we came upon the idea of a show, and we made some inquiries, and when one of our members, Miss Antoinette Mora, when she sent an email to Arturo Tapping, he said, sure, love to.
Children are born all the time with medical defects, but the problem with heart disease is that when something happens, it needs immediate attention. She says the organization was formed 20 years ago because they wanted to do more to assist those children immediately.
Every year, a certain number of children are born with difficulties, and what we want to do is to help them and increase the chances that they have of having a full and productive life.
Vice President of the fund, Jennifer Ann Fidel, says that when the association has to make the decision as to who gets the treatment, they have to take into consideration that if given treatment, will it make a difference to the child, and will they have the opportunity to have a normal, productive life?
We've had one or two of those cases, and they were tough. They were tough. We still helped. We did what we could. We got the doctors in, everything, but these are difficult decisions. Happy to say we haven't encountered too many, but once in a while you do, and we call a committee together, and doctors, nurses, Dr. McIntyre deals with that.
The support from the public has been overwhelming in terms of donations.
Everyone that we've asked for assistance has come forward and done so. Not everyone to the same level, but really, how do you get $1 million? You raise it $1 at a time. So every contribution is appreciated, and every contribution makes a difference to a child.
Ms. Fidel says they have never turned down a child who needs help.
Sometimes we cannot help as much as we want to, but they always get medical attention. Dr. McIntyre assists to that. They will get transportation, they will see a doctor, they will get evaluated. If we cannot do that and there's more than what, we bring in the cardiologist so he can see many more. And we've done hundreds of patients like that. And by that I mean when the doctor comes in, he will see batches of kids. Some of them is just very slight problems, but you still, if it's your child, you still get very nervous.
Tickets cost $50 and $100 for VIP. They are available at the Glam, Kaike Boutique and Dr. McIntyre's office. Headline sponsors are Digicel, Liat, Fortune Hotel. Other sponsors include Sat Telecom's Caribbean and Signature Inc.
Despite the heavy showers, cloudiness, and strong winds, it was a great, exciting, and memorable day for the children from the Old Mill Summer Arts Program 2012. The closing ceremony held on Friday 17th exposed what the children learned throughout the entire summer. The program consisted of 46 children, who included 32 children from age range 7 to 10 and 14 from age range 11 to 17. Apart from the children, organizers and coordinators, the parents appeared to be having a good time also. They showed their support by singing along with the children, as well as encouraging and supporting them when it seemed like their confidence level dropped. Chief Cultural Officer Mr. Raymond Lawrence commended the parents for allowing the children to take part, and has disclosed that this may be the most successful summer program the Cultural Division has ever hosted.
Let me just say that about a total of about 53 children in total took part in this year's program, and this is probably maybe more of one of our more successful programs, I have to say, although we've been having successful programs for many years now at the Old Mill. But in terms of participation, there was really a sort of an extra energy this year, and I want to thank all those involved for that. The tutors, Aaron Hamilton, Pearl Christian, Heather Toulon, Hegana Dorival, Anita Bully, Gregory Rabes, Huguette Saint-Hilaire, Pius John Baptist, Eddie Andre, Louis Desiree, and Orlando Cuffey. Special thanks to all of you. And also to our special assistants, Leandra Lander, Gabrielle Abraham, and Maria George.
Mr. Raymond believes that this was 2 weeks of intense training for the children, and he says more and more Dominicans are starting to appreciate their culture.
In this particular area. Of course, it was 2 weeks of what you'd call concentrated and intense training every day, Monday to Friday, since we started. we always have to remember that arts are an important form of education as well in our society, in the world. Apart from being a talent and a skill that can entertain, it is also something that we have to appreciate for its knowledge and for the education that it is able to impart to a population. Simply just being more aware of who we are, where we've come from, what our skills and talents are, and what our national identity is all about in Dominica and in the region.
The program schedule included instrumental music such as steel pan, record and guitars, as well as creative dance and arts and crafts. Something new was also added to this year's program, and this was Introduction to Film, which the children covered incredibly well. Here's a clip from the children's performance called The Mango Tree.
And in court tonight, the men arrested for possession of 40,000 grams of cocaine at Hillsborough on August 14th has been remanded in custody. Brian Etienne of Faubourg-Loubier, Harrison Warrington of Castle Comfort, who resides in Foncolay, and Terence Christopher of Silver Lake appeared before Magistrate Ozzie Lewis on August 17th. They were charged with possession of cocaine and intent to supply the said cocaine. They all pleaded not guilty to the charges. They are represented by attorney Wayne Nord. The cocaine has a street value of $1.7 million. The matter was adjourned to November 8, 2012, with disclosure effective by October 8, 2012. In other court news, Michael Charles of Virgin Lane pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct. The incident took place on Thursday, 14th of June, at around 9 a.m. when the defendant was quarreling with his girlfriend, Shemaya Joseph. Miss Joseph was dropping off her daughter at Miss Burton's school when Mr. Charles started using indecent language in the presence of the preschoolers. The teacher of the school asked the defendant to refrain from using such language, and the police were called to the scene. His lawyer, Ronald Charles, said the defendant was remorseful and suggested that he be given a stern warning and never to appear again before the court. He was fined a moderate $150 to be paid by October 15, 2012, or spend 3 weeks in prison. He was remanded and cautioned. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.